got a fantastic story to share with us all. So let's just over to Martin. Let's have A's in the applause in the box chat there. That'd be fantastic. Bye for now.
Hey there, everybody. You still on there, Deborah? There you go, wonderful. Hi there, everybody. Can everybody hear me and see me okay? Okay, wonderful. Looks like everyone can see me, fantastic. So thanks very much for obviously letting me come on tonight, Deborah, and obviously to share my story with everybody. I've actually been in the business now for a little over about 9 years now. Started the business literally just to earn £50 a week, and to be quite honest, £50 a week at the time 9 years ago was very needed for myself at the time. I was working full-time as a window cleaner, working 40 hours a week, and literally working from 3 o'clock in the morning till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then basically getting home and obviously getting the catalogues out, as I say, just because at the time when we joined it was just all catalogues. With the online side of the business now, it's so fantastic that a lot of people can obviously earn a great income just from being at home or using a smartphone out and about. So that's a bit about myself there. Basically, £50 a week for me at the time was just to take the children out, because I've got 2 young children, just to take them out to the cinema or to bowling or to somewhere like that, because all of our money was obviously being paid to the bills, and as everybody got on here, probably most people, there was too much month at the end of the money. Now, our biggest 4 weekly income from Clean Easy since we've been in was actually £1,200. Now, a lot of that was purely from retailing quite high. Our highest retail that we've actually ever done in orders was actually £3,300. And basically this month we're actually on target to probably better that now. We're actually well over £1,500 this week already in the last 2 weeks. So basically, in my first 4 weeks in the business, I actually earned £275. Now, I actually earned that in 3 weeks starting in the business. And literally, it was like, in and out with the catalogues every single day, and making sure that, they were all in and out. Now, sorry, I'm a bit nervous. It's a bit different this for me. I've not done one for quite a while. I wanted to do it live because obviously it's a lot better that way. So because doing it recorded, it's not the same. Now, obviously, as Deborah said at the beginning there, the events are really, really important. I literally can go, we'll go to every single event where possible. I'll be at Aintree if anybody's going to the, the showcase there. And we will be actually at the summer showcase in August as well, to go to the gala dinner as well. So they are very, very important. Now, also as well, that what I find is very important in this business is basically following what your upline tells you and what your sponsor shows you, because they're there to help you and support you every step of the way. Now, obviously, it's very important that you need to follow that system. Now, we do have a very small team of people as well that we're helping to better themselves and get better incomes themselves as well. Now, obviously, it's lost my trail of thought now. Can hear very much noise in the room. So sorry about that. Now, basically, the 10 steps workshops are important as well. There is actually one coming up this weekend over in Yorkshire on Sunday, and I know that there is a few more as well in the next few weeks. Okay. So basically, it's very important for me, myself, really, this business. I find that it's, the flexibility of this business, to work around your commitments, work around a job. As I say, when I started working as a full-time window cleaner and still trying to fit in Clean Easy was, so easy to do. And a lot of people do find it quite hard. Sometimes you're going to get bad pickups. Sometimes you're going to get good pickups. It will all balance out in the end. It's basically just make sure you're getting out there, either with your catalogues, doing your online orders, through Facebook or any other means for that matter. All right. Now, it's important for myself, really, the income basically as well is within the space of a couple of years in the business. My wife was giving birth to our youngest daughter, who's now 10, and she was basically in there for quite some time. She was in hospital for a couple of months, and with the flexibility of this business, what we were able to do while obviously my wife was recovering, basically we were able to sort of create an income at that time, because my wife was working full-time as a care assistant. We actually replaced her income within a very short space of time. So when she came out of the hospital, she was able to give up work, and then a few years down the line, I was actually able to give up my work, being made redundant as well. In the window cleaning jobs I had in the past, I was actually made redundant in twice in the same year, and basically that left me with a decision to either decide to, go back and find another job and work for somebody else for 40 hours a week, which I didn't enjoy doing, or I could actually step it up and actually work my business, and earn the income that I desire. And obviously what we need for our children now, with that, we've been able to, watch our children grow up. They're now 10 and 14, and they've literally grown up with this business, and with both parents being around them every step of the way. We can go to their sports days, we can go to their shows, we can literally do anything that we want because we're our own boss. So what you've got to understand in this business is that you are your own boss, and you basically need to just knuckle down and get it started. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter whether you're new in the business or you've been in the business for a while, just make sure that you're following the system. Don't ever give up. That's the biggest thing I can tell people. Never, ever give up. We've been in this business for 9 years, and we've never give up. We are going to go gold this year, no matter what, kicking and screaming. So I hope that's helped everybody, and I'd like to say thank you very much again.
Martin, that was absolutely fantastic. And I know you've sort of used the webinar sort of before, you said, but you didn't show that you were nervous at all. You were just really relaxed, and fantastic story. And when you explained sort of how you've grown the business and that you don't work before, to me, I didn't realise that, how you've grown it. And I just think it's absolutely amazing that you can be there together, not having to worry about being made redundant again, and having that flexibility around your family. And that's exactly, why we joined. It's why so many people join this business, for the flexibility around the kids. And it's great to see that you've already been able to get to the stage where you can just do this for yourself. Absolutely fab. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And as I say, if anyone else wants to share their testimony, whether you're new and what you've got from the business, whether you've been in longer and what the business has given you, it helps other people see what the business can do for different people from different backgrounds. It's not all about who's got the biggest check. It's not all about who's got the highest pin level. It's other things that people have joined the business for. But if you getting what you're wanting from the business and you're aspiring to achieve more, then we love to hear those stories. So don't be shy. And it's actually quite simple, because no one can shout at you, because you can just talk away, which is absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for that, Martin. Just superb. Right then, I'm going to stop now and pass over to a lady we all know very well, Nikki. She's doing absolutely fantastic with her team, and she's going to share some stuff now that I know is going to really help you when it comes to not just showing the business to people who may be interested in joining the business in Spain, but how to get those people off to a good start, knowing what resources are available to support you, knowing things they're going to have to be aware of when they start the business, because it's obviously we don't just bring people in, we support them as well, and so you need to be a step ahead. And Nick has got some fantastic information that if you haven't read, she'll be sharing with you right now. Hi everyone. So firstly, can I have 3 Ys so you can hear me, see me, and see the slides? I know sometimes I have a problem with my mic. Also, if the screen flashes off at some point, it's because I'm on Bluetooth. So it'll only take a minute for me to come back on. So tonight I'm going to talk about recruiting in Spain, and how different it is to recruiting over here in the UK and Ireland. Quiet. Let me see if I can turn it off. Hopefully that'll be a bit better now. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about how it is so different in Spain to recruiting over here in the UK and Ireland, because there are so many differences, and you really need to know all these differences to be a good sponsor of your Spanish leads. So one of the first things is that we only have one catalogue over in Spain.
and there is only about 520 of the best-selling products, and it's a mixture of Clean Easy and K-Life. So the first thing when you're doing your recruitment post, a lot of us say how many products that you're going to have to advertise, and we usually say about 2,000. So that's one of the first things that you need to remember to change when you're going to do your recruitment adverts over in the Spanish groups. So we have a mixture of Clean Easy and K-Life items, and the K-Life items are marked in the catalogue. So we know the differences, and you can work out what percentage commission you're going to get, all that kind of thing. So the starter kit is €35. There's only one starter kit, but you kind of have a choice between English translation or Spanish translation catalogue. You get 50 bags in that and 100 order forms. You get a shoulder bag and your online business manual. This also comes with 12 months free distributor services. So the same over here in the UK and Ireland. And you also get £750 credit limit, not pounds, euros. So that's another difference there, because over in the UK now we only have £350 credit limit. So these are all things that you really need to make notes on, because if you're speaking to two different people, one from the UK and one over in Spain, it can get confusing. I get confused just then even speaking. You can also buy extra boxes of catalogues for €20 as well, so it's the difference to the £29 over here. And after the 12-month period, you get a charge of €12 every 4 weeks, which is made to your account. So that's something you also need to make your potential recruits aware of. The bonus levels, you can see on here. In fact, I think it's cut off a bit. The bonus levels are obviously different with the pounds and the euros. So make sure you have a look at these, because you don't want to be saying that you can get a certain bonus level when it's completely different in pounds. But what does happen with the points and the different bonus levels, they're exactly the same. So you times it by the 1.2. So all the bonus levels and the pin levels are the same throughout any country that Clean Easy is going to go into as well. So that's kind of simple. You just have to make sure you know your euros and your pounds. The delivery schedule is very different over in Spain. Over here, we can get the orders within 2 days. I know in Ireland, I think it's maybe about 3 days. But over in Spain, it's expected to take up to at least a week. And I know that Craig White has been recommending doing your orders on a Sunday night, and then you're getting your delivery on the Friday. So then you've got the weekend, to get all your orders out. So that's a big thing that you need to make sure you're telling your potential recruits. Because I know one of the things that when I'm speaking to leads, they're really happy with how quick the delivery service is, with it just being in 2 days. So obviously you need to make everyone aware of that. The returns policy in Spain is a lot different as well. I mean, over here we can do returns free, obviously, if you just do it once a period, and the items don't have to be damaged either. But over in Spain, only damaged items can be returned for free. You can return the other items, but you will have to pay the charge on that. Also, you can't just fill in a goods return note and send it back and already get the credit. The damaged items, you have to show photographic evidence, and this has to be approved by the company before they will actually credit you. And then that is when you will be able to do the return. So the returns procedure is a lot more different. And I know over here, one of the great things is, you can do the returns for free. It doesn't matter if it's damaged or not. And I know that's one thing that really does grip people into joining. So again, make sure that you're aware of all this, and make sure you're making your potential leads aware as well. The welcome rewards are completely the same. So I'm just going to go through these with you anyways. So you've got the first welcome reward, 125 bonus points, and that's £150. So in your first 30 days, you'll be rewarded with a box of free catalogues that you can usually choose from. And then you get up to 500 BP within the same, your first 30 days. You also get another pack of catalogues. Now you see on here the only difference is in Spain you don't get drop ships, which I'll go on to further later on, but in Spain they don't have drop ships, so the only reward you'll get is the box of catalogues. And then in the first 60 days, if you do a further 500 VP, so you've done 1,000 altogether, then you get another 2 boxes of catalogues. But also in Spain, they don't have the choice of the K-Life or the Clean Easy, so it will just be the one catalogue with both sets of products in there. The delivery and handling charges are also different. Over in Spain, you have to do a minimum order of €200. You can't do any less than that before you can even send your order off. So it's €750 for any orders between £200 and £399.99, not £99, euros. And then $375 for 400 to 599. It's the same with the ordering. You can't order any time of the day, any day of the week, but obviously they're going to be processed a bit differently to go with the Spanish delivery schedule. With Spain at the moment, I know a lot of people are trying to recruit, and there's a lot of people trying to join, but we are only in mainland Spain at the moment, so we're not in any of the islands, and we don't do Gibraltar either, but that will be phased in at some point in the future. Also with dropship, because we've only just gone into the country, everything's still new, we're going to have problems. The company are just trying to see what works and what isn't going to work, and at the current moment we don't have the dropship facility. But I'm sure in the near future that will become available as well. So when you are recruiting, you need to make the leads aware that the orders will be coming to their house. They'll either have to do the deliveries or get people to collect. So there's no dropship option available, and I think that's one of the biggest differences. Another thing with blanket dropping, obviously you can do your online sales, but I think one of the big things for Spain and how it's going to grow so quickly, and how it did in the UK, because we've not had the online side of the business very long, and it is the catalogue side, but with blanket dropping in Spain, it's a lot different. The company are advising that you don't actually do blanket drops where you just push them through the houses, but you actually knock on the doors. There's a big thing over in Spain about not being permitted on the land and stuff like that. So I mean, I know there's lots of signs and stuff like that, but I think the best thing to start off with is friends and family with the catalogues, and then do your knocking on the doors. But I think be very, very careful with the blanket dropping and just putting them through, because there are regulations for that. Distributor services are quite different as well. There will be no online shops for Spain at the moment. I think these are going to be introduced slowly as well. Also, there is no browse products, and there is no website for Spanish people like we have klife.co.uk, where we can get the prices, the pictures and the descriptions. There is not one of those for Spanish leads. But what they can do is they can look at the Spanish ICAT. You can still get the pictures off our website, but just change the prices, obviously. They will have a stock checker, and they currently don't have a DSA as such as what we do, but they do have monthly newsletters sent to their email. So that's a great way for them to find information out as well until that becomes available. I just wanted to say the training that I've done tonight, I haven't had any training on this, but I've taught myself these facts from reading the information that the company give to us. It's available for absolutely anybody. And sorry, I said it would go off. Hopefully you can still hear me. I think I'm still turned on. But these are some screenshots here of where I've got the information from. So they have a business manual, which is extremely good to read. It is long, but if you want to be recruiting in Spain, you have to know all the information. There's Q&As, there's all these kind of things which you can find on the DSA and Clean Easy España. And I think one of the main things that I have learnt, because I haven't tried recruiting in Spain yet, I think I had one person come to me once and I had no idea how to answer any of her questions, and this was because I hadn't read any of the info. So I will not even try recruiting in Spain till I have got every single fact in my head, because we don't want to be given the wrong advice, because this is when the company expansion in Spain is not going to work, and it will collapse if us as distributors are not given the correct information, because the leads that you get that are going to join, they're not going to know what to do, they're not going to make any progress, and you're just going to see people joining and leaving or not doing anything, or we're just not going to have enough people join to make it a success in the country. So what I will say is, before anybody starts, try even put the adverts out there, to read every single bit of information and read it more than once. You know, make notes, have notes wrote in your phone, so if you are asked a question by someone, you can find these answers straight away. You know, and you're not having to read through all the information and try and find the answers to that. So I'll just put a little quote here: you can't teach if you don't know the answers, and you can't learn if you don't ask questions. If there's anything that anybody doesn't understand about Spain, you know, I was still reading stuff today, and I didn't understand stuff, so I spoke to Deborah, I spoke to HQ. You know, we're all still learning. No one is absolutely perfect. You know, I'm still learning. So I think the best thing for us all to do to make this a success is to read the information and ask questions. I know I was a bit quiet tonight. I can't get the mic to work. I think actually I've managed to do it now. I think I'll probably be a bit louder now. But I think this webinar was recorded. I have the slides if anyone wants to have a read through, or if any of you have any questions. I've managed to turn it up now. If any of you have any questions you want to ask me as well, if you couldn't hear properly, just message me. I'll be happy to talk anybody through it. But I hope you all have great success in Spain. I think it's really going to help this company grow, and I'm really excited to find out what the next country is as well.
Thanks, Nikki. That was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I can upload the slides that Nikki's done to the Team G4G, which will help people to have something to refresh themselves on. But what I would say, and again, this is backing up what Nikki said, is that things are changing all the time. So it's not a case of what the credit limit is like now will necessarily stay the case. In terms of delivery timescales, things could change. You've already had the thresholds for delivery change. There was always going to be a fee, and now over €600 it's free. So that's something that's changed since it was launched in November time. There's also the trading account has been increased. So you know, you could be looking at old information. So we're going to try and share things, but you know, definitely going on to the DSA, the Clean Easy opportunity. There's lots of headings for retail, sponsoring, question and answers, and that's where we get the most up-to-date information probably. So that's simple to go through. It's well laid out, and there's a weekly newsletter you can have a quick look at. There's also a Facebook group that's been set up for people who've really got people in Spain. So I wouldn't necessarily say all join now, but join it now. But definitely, I think once you've got somebody in your business in Spain, then that's a good idea too. You know, and obviously don't forget the UK opportunity it's huge, but it is exciting that we've gone into another European country, that we make a success of this. We're going to obviously have the opportunity to go into other countries as well. I saw Ian put a little comment on about having to also register yourself as self-employed. Yes, it is different in what people have to do. It's their identification they have to use when they're registering online is different, and it's all on the slides, the screenshots of the registration form that your Spanish distributor will need to fill in. You can have that, so you can see the sorts of things they're going to have to fill in when they're filling in the form. And then of course there's also screenshots of what their ordering system looks like, because they can check stock and have a stock hotline, but it looks differently to our system. So it's no good just thinking that you're going to be able to just sort of say, well, you click here, click there, because you can't have a go at it because you can't see their screens. Screen share is fantastic, and if you've never used screen share, now is a good time to do it. Zoom is what we're hoping to record this on tonight. Steve's having a go for us. Zoom's fantastic because it's where I do a lot of my training videos now. You can obviously talk on video and record your whatever you're saying, but you can also go between a PowerPoint presentation that you've got on your computer to a website and record all of that. And then of course you can also do like a conference call like you would on Skype, and that's a great way for you to get to know your Spanish distributor. I mean, all your team all over the country, but when they're in another country, obviously you may never come to actually meet up with them, and it's a great way to be able to help them. They can share their screen, then you can see exactly what they're trying to do when they're inputting something too. So it's a great training tool as well as a great way to build rapport in your team. So thanks ever so much, Martin, for your testimonial tonight. Absolutely superb. Thank you, Nikki, for updating us all on some of the stuff with Spain. I think if anything, hope people take away from that is about let's go and have a look at that site and see what's there to help us all. Zoom's brilliant. Yeah, Gal and I use Zoom quite a bit. And that's all for me. I'm now going to put another piece of music on that I've got another piece from Martin to upload now. So enjoy and have a fantastic end to week 2, because it's, you know, end of week 2, we've got 2 weeks to the end of the period. Absolutely time to go nail those bonus levels, because I know lots of you are going for them. It's there to be had, it really is. You know, and let's just